It's time to dad. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Time to Dad. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Appreciate you taking a couple minutes, and by a couple I mean 30 minutes to an hour to hang out with us for these episodes. Anyways, I'm here tonight with JT and long time no see. Brad has joined us tonight, so awesome. Glad to have you back on the episode. I feel like it's only appropriate that we start with a check-in with you.
No, for sure.
What's been going on, man?
So I'm excited to kind of hop back in the mix and get involved a little bit more. It has been, I feel like, probably 2 months since I was on my last episode. And like I told y'all, I had gone back to school to finish up my degree. I thought it was going to be super easy. I was like, no problem. I went back to school and it kind of kicked my ass a little bit towards the end of the semester. I think it's much harder going back to school, especially when you got 3 kids. So navigating school and making sure that I'm still dad and husband as much as possible has been, I don't want to say a challenge, but it's been more challenging than I thought it was going to be. So other than that, it's been good just doing, kind of some DIY projects around the house. Had a hot water heater issue that I'm working on right now. But it's been good, man. Like I said, excited to jump back on and kind of get in the mix.
Nice. What are you doing? You doing like online classes? Do you do hybrid or what do you do?
No, so I'm on the GI Bill, and that was part of the reason that I went back to school is after 15 years of being out of active duty, your GI Bill expires. And so I went to school I went to school before the military and then after as well. But I got out and went back to school, and then I started making money and things. And so school fell by the wayside. Then I got married, had kids. Yeah. So looking at it, I had to use the rest of my GI Bill. But one of the stipulations with the GI Bill is that you've got to do at least one class on campus. So the way it works, I'm on campus pretty much every single day, but I just have to do 1 or 2 classes on campus, which is good and bad. For me, I suck at the online learning stuff.
Yeah.
But going to class every day, again, nothing against the younger kids, but being surrounded by a bunch of young 20 kids that aren't dads, they're not even in the same atmosphere as far as what they're doing. It's been interesting and very different also.
Well, props to you, dude, because when I thought about going back to school and had actually done it for a semester, I was how old was I? Fucking hell. I think I was 20, 26, 27, and I was taking like sophomore level classes at the time, and it was really awkward and I was like the old guy in the classroom, I felt like. And but yeah, it's like you said, dude, just taking even just a few years off that I took, when I went back, I was just like, holy shit, my brain is not programmed anymore to just cram all this information in and remember it anymore. Like I wasn't a straight A student by any means, and I could, whip a study session together and get decent grades on tests and shit. Right. But when it came to the college stuff, I could not do that when I went back. I mean, if I wasn't actively like studying throughout there was no last minute cram session. If I didn't actively participate and look at shit every night and do practice it just went with all the shit in life going on, it just goes out the other year, man. And I can't imagine. I didn't have kids at the time either. I wasn't even, actually I was dating Jen at that point, but her daughter was still in California. So it was just Jen and I felt overwhelmed then, man. So props to you for getting shit done.
Yeah, for sure. The one thing that I will say is if anybody is kind of in that spot where they're contemplating like going back to school or making a career change, because that was part of the reason that I went back to school as well, not just to use my GI Bill, is I didn't know if I wanted to stay within the insurance industry. But I feel like you really can if that's what you want to do and you feel called to do. I'm not trying to discourage anybody from going back to school. Ultimately, people can make it happen, and it's really not too hard other than just being around a bunch of younger kids. So
I think you're in a unique situation, right? Because you have the GI Bill. I think a big part of dads not going back too is cost fucking money, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of dads might be, kind of my age where they're in their mid late 30s and they're like, do I really need, $15,000-$20,000 worth of debt, additional debt on top of the other shit they got going on? I'm sure that weighs heavy on some people, but I don't know. That comes up a lot. Is a lot of those posts I see are coming from dads that are doing like really rough blue collar work, and they're tired of not seeing the family, and they're like, I want to make a career change, and sometimes the only way they can do that, or the job that they're seeking, the only way they can achieve that is by going back to school, and it's rough, man. But I applaud people that can kind of claw and scrape their way through that, especially when it's a dad who's probably already working, has a family they need to be with, and then doing school on top of it. So that's fucking awesome, man.
Definitely.
The trick is finding a balance, and if you're doing that, I commend you.
What was it? I didn't hear what you said.
I said the trick is finding a balance in it all.
Oh,
and if you're able to do that, I commend you.
I feel like it's organized chaos at that point.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the key to anything that we try and do, whether it be, in your family life, in your personal life, whatever. You just got to find that right balance with it. You got to have time for yourself. You got to have time for the family. So if you can just balance everything out, that's kind of the key, I think.
Well, speaking of balancing, finding time for yourself, Thanksgiving is upon us. It'll be here in a week, almost a week from today. So we were kind of talking before the episode and throughout the week, and I think we were going to kind of dedicate this one to all things Thanksgiving and what it means to us as dads and families. And I know for myself, Thanksgiving is not really it's not really different than any other time of the year, I would say. Our Thanksgiving, we rotate between my mom's house, my sister's house, and our house. And we just get together. Sometimes my brother-in-law, his parents are divorced, so he usually has 2 Thanksgivings to go to, which always throws a wrench in the damn plans. So some years we end up eating Thanksgiving together at like noon, which kind of sucks. I prefer it more like a dinner time get together. But yeah, we rotate to a different house every year, and our 3 families get together and we just have a good time. We usually eat, and if it's at night, when we're done eating and do desserts and everybody's fat and happy, we'll sit down and we'll put a kid's Christmas movie on the TV and all kind of watch it as a family. It's really not anything different, I guess. I know for a lot of people, it's traveling and going to see family that maybe doesn't live close to them. So we're kind of fortunate in the nature that a lot of our direct family is still here in Virginia. But I don't know. Thanksgiving for me, though, it feels like it's a time of year where like I want to help. I want to donate something. I want to when the church donates, meals to people, we always try and participate and stuff like that. Cause, I think a lot of people take Thanksgiving for granted, and a lot of people, kind of look at the Christmas season as the time to give and donate, right? Because you got like the Christmas mother and things like that, and Toys for Tots and things. But for me, Thanksgiving, I think almost outweighs Christmas as far as donating and doing what you can. I think just getting families together that we go out to eat occasionally with our direct family, but we don't sit down like at someone's house and have a big meal like we do at Thanksgiving. And so if we can help somebody else kind of share that experience and warmth and joy with their family and have food on the table, that's kind of my goal with Thanksgiving, I guess. What do you guys typically have going on?
Well, as far as far as I'm concerned, I don't have to do much traveling. Firstly, I'm going to be working Thanksgiving Day. But even then, my mom just lives 15 minutes down the road. And in our family, unless you are considered the matriarch of the family, you don't know. Thanksgiving dinner's done at my mom's house. That's it. There's no swapping or anything like that. And you'd be surprised at how many people don't have a problem with that. Because preparing and planning something like that and having, no matter if they're family or not, having, an excess amount of people can be pretty chaotic. And then everybody wants to take off, 20, 30 minutes after they eat or something. Like some of them, because we don't really do football or anything like that.
What?
So, well,
un-American.
I don't, yeah. But so everybody just kind of burns off at, about 30 minutes to an hour after. So my mom does the noon, anywhere between noon and 2:00. That way she's not stuck having to do all the cleanup at 7:30, 8:00 at night.
For sure.
You better, you're supposed to be staying and helping your mom do all that cleanup.
Yeah.
My mom be like, the fuck you going? Get your ass back in here and help me clean up.
When I am able, I do. But, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be present during the meal. And, my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, they're actually going to be coming down here from where they're at to come have dinner with my wife and Jasper and my folks. So it's going to be a pretty good little get-together. My mom, over the past few years since she was diagnosed with MS, she doesn't do as quite the big a dinner that she used to. But she does definitely try and get everybody together. It's nice. We don't necessarily, politics always gets brought into it. So somebody's always leaving a little butthurt.
I thought y'all be on the same page in Texas.
Oh no! You got one family member that's going to throw a monkey wrench into it, and it's going it makes dinners interesting.
Yeah, everybody kind of knows where everybody stands in our families, and we just don't bring it up, and that's for the best.
Yeah.
Well, we know our stances, but when it comes to certain current issues, those tend to come about, and this past election.
What I'm hearing is that's not going to happen this year because JT won't be at Thanksgiving.
No, it'll happen. I just won't be there to witness it.
Okay. It doesn't matter. It seems like whatever side you're on, there's always that one family member, right? There's always the family member that wants to interject. And half the time, if you can just smile at them and nod, it's like, okay, great. I appreciate your opinion. But that's the biggest way to avoid conflict is just smile and nod through Thanksgiving.
Yeah, until they hit you with the, so you agree. You're like, well, I didn't say that.
Yeah,
we don't do the fucking politics. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, we try not to, but I have actually, I love Thanksgiving, and normally I'm not as into it, but for some reason this fall, I admittedly have turned into like a basic fall lady. I've been into pumpkin spice lattes. I love them, dude. I love the pumpkin spice. Before my wife,
this is time to dad, right? Not time to mom.
Yeah. For any dads that have not really enjoyed a pumpkin spice latte, I encourage you to try it. But
JT's not talking. I feel like he's drinking some pumpkin spices too. Or did he freeze?
Hell you say?
No, I see him frozen on my side too.
Oh, I can hear you, but you're not. I can't see you. Your camera froze, so that's fine.
But one thing that
I don't do pumpkin spice anything, let alone a latte. I like my coffee hot and black, no cream, sugar, nothing. I don't.
Yes.
I don't
know about the hot part. I'll drink iced coffee when it's 5 below outside. I can't do hot coffee.
Yeah, I
don't put all that fruit shit in.
But and I was in the military. I can drink coffee, however, but there's just something once I figured out. I was like, man, lattes actually taste pretty good. That a good one from time to time. But one of the things that I've also found interesting about Thanksgiving is like my family all lives within like 2 hours of each other. So we all kind of get together at the same place. We all do the same thing. We'll travel a little bit, but I mean, we're from Georgia. My wife, she's from New Jersey originally. So a lot of her family is up north. They're all starting to move south now because they see how great it is. But they just the regional differences with Thanksgiving, because we've done Thanksgivings in New Jersey and stuff, is always kind of interesting. Just like the different dishes, the different topics of conversation. That has always kind of fascinated me a little bit.
We've never done a thing. So we have family in upstate New York. My dad's side of the family is all from up there. We haven't done a Thanksgiving with them, but I feel like they're maybe because it's upstate New York, and but I feel like they'd be kind of the down home style like we're used to here in Virginia. But yeah, if she's depending on where she's from in Jersey, yeah, I bet like is she closer to the bigger city?
Yeah, but I mean, her entire family, they're like 100% Italian, and we went up there one year.
Oh, well, that's probably why.
Yeah, no, they put out, and they had a turkey, but they put a Thanksgiving lasagna on the table, and I was like, "What is this?"
What?
Yeah. No, it was good, but
it's got to be pasta though, if you're Italian, right? It's probably some sort of sin to not have a pasta dish.
No,
that's great.
For sure.
What the hell is in a Thanksgiving lasagna?
It was just a regular lasagna. That was just the Thanksgiving lasagna. Like it wasn't like turkey inside of the lasagna. No. It was just like that was the dish, that and the turkey. Lasagna. Yeah.
You never know. I had a vegan friend, and we did a Friendsgiving one year, and he brought a tofurkey to like the Friendsgiving that we did.
A what?
Yeah, a tofurkey. It's a tofu turkey, man.
Okay. Did you try it?
That is no
I
friend.
did.
That is no friend.
I mean, I wasn't a stranger to tofu because we'd have to find like vegan friendly restaurants, and some of them were like vegan only. So if you wanted any kind of thing that resembled a protein at all in your food, it was usually tofu. So, I mean, tofu is interesting. It always has the same texture, but it can be made to taste like whatever the hell you season the hell out of it with.
Right.
It's really not that bad, but you have to season. It's not, you wouldn't just like cut up a block of tofu and sear it in a pan and eat it that way. It would taste like eating a fucking soggy sponge, but it's not that bad, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it, but I've never tried it before.
It's good. I mean, it's good. It's good. Yeah. It looks terrible when you take it out of the little carton you buy it in because it's like got some of the milky solids in the bottom. It looks like a curdled block of milk when you take it out of the package. It's exactly what it looks like. But it doesn't taste like that.
Look, for the sake of our friendship,
I doubt if
we ever do a meal,
vegans are probably
if you ever bring a
far between me,
we can't be friends. We can't be friends. That's like I've got a younger brother. When we all meet up,
we're going to a tofu bar somewhere just for JT.
I've got a younger brother that calls turkey bacon, and just on principle alone, that's a sin against humanity.
It's healthier, but it is not bacon.
No.
It is not. I don't know what it's like. It's like a microwave football. It's what
you can polish a turd, but it's still a turd. It's still turkey. It's not bacon.
I don't know. So Brett or JT, it sounds like your mom does all the cooking.
No. She doesn't do all the cooking.
Everybody bring a little something. Potluck.
Yeah. People bring stuff. I make. I'll often do some really cool desserts.
Who makes some mac and cheese?
My mom. She does a baked mac and cheese.
Probably because somebody else made it one year and everybody got pissed off.
Yeah.
And they were like, never again.
Yeah, that's
Mama's making the mac and cheese.
but I do a lot of really cool desserts. So I spent my GA bill on culinary arts. I do, my specialty is desserts and everything like that. Desserts and salads. Ironically, I don't eat salads. You couldn't pay me enough. That's rabbit food. That's my food. That's my food's food. But desserts are my thing. So I do like a chocolate cheesecake. I'll do pecan pies, apple pies, pumpkin pies, a little bit of everything.
I like pumpkin pies. Me too. With a shit ton of Cool Whip on top.
Mm-hmm. Damn right. That's the only way to eat it.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. Well, so we're talking about Thanksgiving. You guys do Black Friday as well?
No.
I mean, Black Friday is just like I think it's just changed so much. You know, nobody really, I don't know.
Dude, maybe everything's online, man. It's not, it's not even worth going out anymore. I think the past couple, so my wife always goes out. I don't know. That's just like, that's her happy place. So usually I stay home with Emerson. She comes back with a bunch of shit. And I'm like, cool, have a good time. Yeah. All right, cool. So do we. But I don't, unless there's something crazy that I know I want to get for like our son or for her, I don't go out. I have nothing draws me to wanting to stand in line for 35, 40 minutes with like a cart full of overpriced shit. I'd rather just sit at home and wait for Cyber Monday deals on Amazon or I don't know. But it's some people that's nostalgic to them. Like they remember doing it when they were younger or as kids or it's something like her and her mom used to do. And like, you know, they used to shop together. It's just not my jam.
Yeah.
I don't want to be, the traffic sucks. People driving like fucking idiots because they got to make it to all the doorbusters. That's too much added stress I don't need in my life.
I'm not a people-y person. So just the idea of being surrounded by people that are ready to draw blood over toys or some shit, it just makes my skin crawl. I used to work at Walmart.
I haven't seen that in the past couple of years, at least not around here where there's been any like newsworthy violence.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's because everybody does like the Black Friday sales now are like all fucking week. Right. So unless you're trying to like save $2,000 on a flat screen TV, there's really no need to like, or some item that's guaranteed to sell out Friday. There's really no need to go out and shop on Black Friday.
Yeah. I don't know. Just the idea of being surrounded by people just makes my skin crawl, violence or not.
I think, like you said, Nick, for Black Friday for a lot of people is like it's just like tradition for a lot of people. You know, they go out and they'll have lunch and, you know, walk around and get coffee. But I'm with y'all. It is not my thing whatsoever. I'll get on the computer, like you said, on Cyber Monday and see what I can pick out on Cyber Monday. The one thing that we have tried to do this year is my wife and I, we always tend to wait too long to buy all the Christmas presents. So we're going out like a week before. We've tried to kind of load up a little bit now, so we're not all slammed right at Christmas time, especially now that we got 3 kids.
But then you stash it all and you're like, oh shit, where do we put everything?
We're still looking for Christmas presents from last year.
My mom does that shit, dude. It'll be my birthday in like January or my wife's birthday in May. And my mom will be like, oh, here's your birthday present. And here's like 3 things I bought you for Christmas, but I forgot where I put them. And I suddenly found them again.
Yeah. My wife last year.
It's rough.
My wife last year, she bought like something for herself and she gave it to me. She said, wrap this up and give it to me on Christmas. I hid it.
I need that in my life.
And we still haven't found it. And it was last Christmas. So
oh shit.
I'm hoping I can find it this year.
That's the problem, dude. You come in the house and people aren't where you thought they would be, so you just stash it somewhere. And the next thing you know, you're like wrapping shit and you're like, I feel like I got more than this. And you're missing 3 or 4 things that you just stuck somewhere. And then you're cleaning months later and you're like, oh, that's where I put it.
Yeah. And hiding toys from a little nosy 7 and 5-year-old. We don't have to worry about the little one too much, but you just run out of places to hide stuff, Mm-hmm. There's only so much attic space that I can utilize before.
Well, there's the other aspect. You can no longer, if you have little ones, they probably shouldn't listen to this episode. But there's the other aspect. If you can't take your kids with you once they hit a certain age.
Right.
When they're super little, you can still go to Target or Walmart or wherever you want to go and buy shit, and they're clueless.
Yeah, they don't know where to.
Once they hit a certain age, you gotta find somewhere to stash your kid while you go out and shop, because they're gonna know all this shit's for them. So
yeah,
that's the other problem. That's why I just stay home with Emerson. I'm like, yeah, you go deal with the chaos and spend money. I'm just gonna sit here at home. But no, that I like that. I like your wife's idea there, because I struggled to buy shit for my wife. I used to buy her photography stuff when her business was still pretty new and fresh, and that was all fine and dandy. But now she's got stupid expensive shit. So anything I would buy to replace anything she has, I'm not spending that kind of money on Christmas gifts. So now I'm back at, she likes the 49ers, so she usually gets a couple 49ers things for Christmas. I mean, I get her some goofy photography type gifts and t-shirts and shit. And then other than that, I'm like, I don't know, fucking, I'll get you a nerdy Lego set, I guess. This is terrible. And she says the same shit about me. She's like, I don't know what to get you. And she's not wrong, because I work hard for my money. So if there's something I want, I usually buy it throughout the year. So when she asks me what I want, I'm just kind of like, nothing. Like, I don't need anything. So then she gets pissed off that she's got to figure out what to buy me. But it usually works out. I get socks and underwear at least. So
there you go.
That's what every dad is waiting for the holiday.
That's ideal for me. Just get me something that is practical. I don't need anything.
I like that meme that comes up this time of year, and it's like a holy pair of underwear and socks, and it's like, hang in there, kings. Christmas is right around the corner.
Definitely.
Because that's when I get new dress socks and boxers and shit.
Yeah, my wife just I tried. Like, I would go out and try and find something, and I'd buy clothing or whatever, and I was genuinely trying. But
she's like, this is not me.
No. And she would be like, oh, this is great. And then 3 months later, I'd be like, you never wore that dress that I got you.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's because it looks like an Amish lady dress.
Yeah.
It was just something
that's why
I could never get it.
I don't, dude, unless it's her comfy clothes, like sweatpants and baggy shirts that she wants to wear, when she's just around the house and shit, I can nail that. But when it comes to something she'll actually wear out in public, I don't dare try and buy that, because every time I've tried, it's been that exact situation where she's like, yeah, it's great. Then it never leaves the closet.
Yeah.
The best buy I have ever gotten my wife for Christmas was her Cricut.
Ooh,
she's got one of those.
I bought a Cricut one year for her.
Cutters.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, she made her.
How many times she uses it?
I'm gonna tell you, she's gonna use that thing till it falls apart. She did our wedding decorations with the Cricut, all of our wedding decorations.
Oh my God.
She still uses it to this day. She does all kinds of stuff. She can make really cool window decals and stuff like that. She has made my fire department some decal stickers, kind of like sort of like a registration sticker. It goes in the same place. That way, if in the event we're having to respond to a fire in our POV, and they see a vehicle hauling ass down the road and they pull us over, typically when they approach, the very first thing they look at is your registration. Well, they see that sticker, they're like, you on your way to a fire or something like that. Typically, if that yes. happened, they just say, okay, bye. But yeah, she uses that Cricut so much, and that is I feel very accomplished with that.
It started with the fucking Cricut. Then she's getting this sublimation machine for putting shit on mugs and water bottles.
My wife did this one right here. She loves sublimation.
So
this
she had to have those two.
My wife ever did.
Well, she had to have those two, and then it turned into like the fucking t-shirt press. It just never stops. But she doesn't use them anymore.
My wife's got it all. My wife's got it all, and she uses it religiously. She just
uses it once a year to update her sweatshirt for whatever number Emerson is for T-ball. And that's it. Other than that, that shit is collecting dust. It was like, I don't know. When I bought that Cricut, it was like $200, I think. 200 or 250. Like, those things aren't cheap.
Well, if you bought the Cricut Explorer 2, you probably paid about $300 because that's what I paid.
I don't remember it's the bigger of the two. It's not the Air. Yeah.
It's the Explorer 2, I'm sure.
It was not fucking cheap.
Hell no.
And now it just collects dust until she like gets a wild hair up her ass, and she's like, you know what? I need to make that because she saw something on Pinterest that was cool. So I don't fucking know. But I don't know what to get her. I don't know. I just guess. We both nerd out on Lego sets for like the shit from like our childhood. So she got me what was it, my birthday? No, it wasn't my birthday. Father's Day, maybe it was. She got me like the baby Yoda one that was like 1,000 pieces. And then for Valentine's Day, I got her like the Rose set of Legos. So we've been like nerding out on Legos, but eventually we're going to run out of Lego kits that each of us would like. So I don't know what the fuck we're going to get each other then, but I don't know.
Well, shit, now they're expensive as hell.
Well, no kidding. I don't remember them other than the like massive ass pirate ship sets. I don't remember any Lego being over like $50 when I was a kid. Now, like the little kid sets that take you 5 minutes to put together are like $20, $25.
Right. And look, nobody can say they know pain until they've stepped on a Lego barefooted in the middle of the night.
It's very true.
I'm good. With Jasper.
Try Monopoly pieces. Step on my son's obsessed with Target because that's where my wife lives on the weekends. And so she got him like the Target Monopoly set. And the little fucking metal pieces are just all over his floor, man. It was like a minefield just trying to... You catch one of those suckers right on the heel on the soft spot, and it is most paint way worse than the corner of a Lego. But I don't know.
So, quick question. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, you said you've already started putting up some of your Christmas decorations, correct?
No, they're already up. We're rolling. We're full Christmas mode over here.
That makes my head hurt, man. I will not allow it in my house.
Well,
the day after we can start putting up the Christmas tree, but we do not put up Christmas.
Yeah, but with the pixel lighting that we use, I can go from like Halloween theme to Christmas theme and like the flip of a button. And so we already had all the outlines up for Halloween and the Halloween lighting. The only thing I didn't have up was the roof outlines because we were getting the roof done and we got the gutters done because of the hail damage. And so this year we added 3 like 4-foot tall light bulbs, and I programmed the light bulbs to sing along and their mouths move to the song that's playing with the lighting that's going on. And I showed my son that I ordered them because I showed him a video of them and he lost his shit. And so it took me like 2 weeks to get them programmed into the sequences and with the songs. And so every day he was asking me like, are the light bulbs done? Are the light bulbs done? And so this past weekend, I just had time to get everything put up. And so I just kind of said, fuck it. Let's put up the Christmas lights. And so they're out there and they're running right now. I typically try to wait till at least the night of Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving is so damn late this year. I mean, it's the the last week of like 3 days from the end of November. I just didn't feel like waiting, and I had time, so I put them up.
I'm with you, JT. Right on. I try and wait. I try and convince my wife until after Thanksgiving. And it kind of turned into like a little bit of a tradition. We would, go away for Thanksgiving, or not go away, but like do Thanksgiving. And then that weekend, we would put up the tree, and my kids have gotten into it. We get donuts. That's kind of something that they'll decorate the tree. We'll get donuts, like sparkling cider for them.
We have not put a tree up. We have not done a single thing in the inside of the house, though. I will say that.
Okay.
No Christmas inside the house yet.
Sorry
to interrupt.
I will not do it today. I will not do it a day before the day after Thanksgiving.
I mean, we get a real tree every year. Granted, we don't go out to a farm and do the traditional cut it down. There's just not many of those around here anymore. But we won't get a tree till probably first or second weekend in December. That's typically when we get a tree. But I'm surprised the inside of my house doesn't look like winter wonderland right now, because my wife for Halloween was like, she took, that cheesecloth kind of stuff. She took like cheesecloth and she hot glued like googly eyes to it, and she wrapped them around the pendant lights over our kitchen island. I mean, there are fucking Halloween gnomes were all over the built-ins around the TV. Like, there was so much Halloween shit. And I've been giving her hell for like the past 2 weeks. Like, please get this fucking shit out of our living room. And she just put it away. Yesterday night, she finished putting that stuff away. And the whole time she's cursing it because I wouldn't help her. And I was like, look, I've been asking you for 2 weeks to put this shit away. I was ready to help you then, but not tonight. So she got all pissed. But I expected her to have like Christmas stuff in full swing in the house by now, but it's not. It'll probably be next weekend.
She was probably burnt out from putting all the damn Halloween shit away.
And I don't feel bad, because I'm like, just stop buying shit. Stop buying shit. Like, problem solved. If you don't buy so much shit that it exhausts you to put it away, then, well, I mean, we already do. I didn't even show you guys a picture of the outside of the house for the Halloween shit. But, I mean, just 15 inflatables in the front yard, plus all the lights. I had to put a fucking spider whose ass had like a disco ball in it up on the roof. It's all for the kids, right? Because the neighborhood kids fucking love all the lights, which is sweet. But then I come inside and it's just cluttered trinket city of Halloween when it's Halloween, and Christmas when it's just little knickknacks. It drives me batshit crazy. My ADHD is just like on high alert. There's just shit everywhere, and it takes her like a month and a half to find some crevice in the house to cram all this shit in when the season's over. And then Halloween will roll around next year, and she'll have bought like 50 more things on sale after Halloween this year that suddenly appear. And I'm just like, what? She's like, we need to Costco or somebody had one of those little plastic pop-up sheds. And she's like, we need to get this for all the decorations. And I'm like, we already have my workshop shed and we have the lawn equipment shed. I was like, I'm not putting it. We're going to look like the fucking Clampets with 3 sheds in the backyard. I was like, if you need that much storage, I was like, you need to rent a storage unit and cart that shit to the storage unit in the off season. That's how bad it is. But it's happy wife, happy life. So like
when you need to get rid of Halloween shit, I'm sure there's a fire department around that will be more than willing to take it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Of fire departments
just like a Goodwill that could use Emerson's clothes that he grew out of 2 years ago that she's still hoarding in bags, swearing they're going to go. It's bad. It's bad.
One of the other reasons that we're not necessarily decorating right away is we've got a 6-month, she's probably like 7 months now, puppy in the house. And so I'm kind of excited to see how much Christmas shit she's actually going to eat and tear up.
Don't use glass tree bulb.
Oh, no, we've made that mistake with the previous dog.
So do we.
Ate the Christmas lights. So it's going to be like a winter wonderland shit show in the house for a little while.
Yeah. What kind of dog is it?
Chocolate Lab.
Oh yeah, that big old tail just knocking shit off the tree.
Everything over. And Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus.
It's like a tree trunk swinging around. That's funny.
Ain't no dog got shit on Jasper. I tell you, my wife and I have even considered not putting up a tree just because our living room. The only thing we can do is put an electric fence around the tree to keep them away from it.
We learned very quickly you don't put any of the nice ornaments or the keepsake ornaments on the bottom like 3 feet of the tree.
Right.
Because that first year, man,
we're terrified.
We must have lost 24 ornaments to Emerson. And it's not because he was ripping them off the tree. It's because he went over and they're reflective and sparkly, and he'd look at them and bump into it, and that next thing you know, it's on the floor and it's it's just part of having a kid at that age. I mean, now he doesn't touch them, and that's fine. But yeah, we were at the point where we were like, do we like baby gate the tree off? But then we're like, well, that looks kind of tacky, maybe not. And but yeah, by his first couple of years when he could walk, man, by the time Christmas rolled around, the whole bottom half of the tree was bare except for lights because he just knocked fucking everything off the tree.
I'd welcome a 7-month-old puppy at this point. Let me tell you, I said, the only way to Jasper-proof a tree is an electrical fence.
Yeah.
And obviously that would be frowned upon. So
if you need it,
go ahead. Oh, sorry. There's a weird delay. That's. I was gonna say if you don't. So mainly because of my wife, but we subscribe to the. Santa typically only brings like the lower ticket items to the house for Emerson, and so that allows us to kind of pre-wrap some stuff that's from mom and dad and get that under the tree. So you don't run into what we were talking about running into earlier with the not remembering where crap goes. Because Santa only when he stops by our house, he only brings probably 4 or 5 gifts for everybody. So if you don't subscribe to that, I highly recommend it. What's that?
That way the parents get all the glory and Santa looks like the cheap ass.
Yeah, it's just really awkward when your kid goes to school and the kid down the street got like a PlayStation 8000 and your kid got like a Matchbox like track set or something. But I mean, it's worked for us so far.
Most parents do that though, is because, if your kids go to school and, there's somebody that Santa didn't bring as much, it's tough to kind of explain that to the kids. So we've tried to do that. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons is, if we're blessed in certain ways. And so if we give our kids something, then we don't want other kids to kind of start thinking, well, why didn't Santa bring me, this kind of stuff. So, and like you said, JT, it is always nice when you can be like, yeah, mom and daddy got you the, the big ticket items.
Worked our asses off. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think it was different when we were kids. There wasn't such a spread on the cost of things either. So, you could get what every kid down the street got, right? Because that's what was available. Yeah. Now people go crazy, and I think social media plays into it.
Big time.
You have all the fucking my son has started watching some influencers, and I'm like, dude, what are you like? Can we put something educate? Like, put Bluey on for the love of God. It is better than this guy building a water slide in his basement.
Right.
But social media around the Christmas and holiday time, they're like, oh, look what Santa brought me. Santa's not bringing every kid a Porsche or a Mercedes. It's just, we've talked about it before, but social media is the devil. And I comment on every damn post when parents are like, at what age should I get my kid a cell phone? And I'm like, it's going to suck, but you need to hold out as long as you can like physically bear the backlash that you're going to get from your kid just because it starts wrecking kids' lives, man.
Mm-hmm. My 8-year-old sister has my 8-year-old baby sister has approached my dad and his wife to give her a cell phone, and no matter what you say, you cannot explain all the reasons why they should not and will not have a cell phone. It's all foreign to them. So I'll
if
just
she
always
wants the
try
little
and find a reason not to.
Yeah, what's it called? The little one where they can only like call pre-programmed numbers like mom, dad, grandma. If they want that one, like I totally agree. And if they need a cell phone so you can get a hold of them because they're doing after school shit or camps and stuff, like sweet. But they don't need a brand new iPhone.
No, she wants one for you too.
Dude, I catch. I'll let Emerson watch YouTube when I'm sitting there with him, and I'll catch him watching some shit where I'm like, what the hell did they just say? And I'm like, all right, we're done with this show. And it's people that produce content that's geared towards children. And I'm like, nah, dude, we are not watching this shit anymore.
That shit up, you're not paying attention.
Yeah. No, I've heard it. There was a viral post about a mom, and same situation. Her kid was watching YouTube. Mom was there, just kind of doing whatever mom was doing, and she thought she heard something about the person, the host of the show, mentioning to push your friends out in front of cars. And sure enough, she stopped it and reversed it. And on this episode of whatever the hell the kid was watching, it was suggesting to the kids watching that they pushed their friends out in front of cars.
Yeah, it's crazy some of the stuff that's out there, and
there's stuff snuck like that in all the time, and I'm just like, dude, and I can't be there with him every second he's watching it. So if Jen and I aren't in the room, we typically don't let him just kind of wander around YouTube, because even when you think and that shit's popping up when you have the kid filter on, right?
Right.
I mean, there's some dark stuff going on out there in the kids stuff. Yeah. Some dark stuff. You're like, man, there is no way a parent with any moral compass would allow their children to watch some of the crap I've seen. It's gross.
I don't know. It's some of the stuff's cool, and he watches a lot of Lego stuff. He watches a lot of Bluey on there, but yeah, there's some random shit out there that your kids will run into. So I don't even know, but be careful. And that's why I always say, it happened to our daughter, like, and she was in high school, and we still wouldn't just outright give her a phone, right? We still had the family app on there. We could limit her text messages. We couldn't see what she was sending, but we could see who she was sending stuff to and at what times and who she was calling. But we could do things like turn off the Safari browser. We could turn off YouTube apps. We could make it so she couldn't download shit. And we caught fucking hell for it, man. I mean, it was brutal, the shit she would say to us, because all these other kids just had free range of a phone. And you can't explain to a young adult or a kid at any age those dangers. I mean, she was old enough to understand that DC is one of the biggest sex traffic rings in the United States. And she's old enough to understand that when we would talk to her. I mean, she was 17 years old at the time. And we would explain to her to death that, like, you need to not talk to these strangers, because she got burner phones from friends that, granted, didn't have cell service, but she could get on Wi-Fi. And I forget the chat app she had, but some fucking grown-ass dude had sent her a picture of him in underwear. And we called the police immediately because she was a minor. And they were like, there's really nothing we can do. Like, they didn't physically meet. He didn't try to meet her. It was all a bunch of bullshit. And I understand why. Like, there's not much they can do. But that's why we fought to keep her fucking off of it, man. And the shit a kid will say to you when all their other friends have a phone, they're doing whatever, I mean, she said some really brutal shit to Jen because I'm stepdad, right? So she knows she's not going to get but so far under my skin. But she said some really brutal shit to Jen over all this. And to this day, I wouldn't change a thing. I'm glad we kept her off of it. But it's a scary world, man. And I will, every post I see about that is, dude, just say fucking no until it just doesn't make sense for your family, whether you need to get a hold of your kid after school or whatever circumstance. But you just go push it as far as you can, because you're going to be better in the long run, man. That the internet is just a scary fucking world.
Yeah, Snapchat right there is a no-no.
Snapchat, dude, it's not, and it's not even about, and it's not necessarily entirely about running into predators or creepy fucking people. It's about bullying. It's about, kids trashing other kids. Now you've got AI that can put your fucking face in any video that's out there. So now you've got this whole other, I was reading a crazy fucking article of kids now using that stuff to, like some poor girl rips her pants in a video, and a girl from that school used one of these AI apps to put another girl's face in that video. So now the whole school thinks that video was of this girl, dude. It's a fucking cold world, man. And kids don't need to be exposed to that shit. I know it's especially worse for girls, right? When it comes to their looks and their body types, they don't need additional ways to shame other kids, right? It fucking drives me nuts, man. And I'll be the same way with Emerson. I will fight tooth and nail as long as I possibly can to keep him from having a device where we can't make sure he's being safe and smart with it.
Right. So, well, I got one question for you guys.
Nope.
Favorite Thanksgiving dish, and go.
Ooh. Can I just say all of it? Is that an acceptable answer?
I mean,
for me, and I guess it's kind of an easy out, but one of the things that almost no matter where we go, I am generally tasked with smoking a turkey. And so, and I'll generally do like 2 or 3 of them a year, just because like I want to have one at home. I'm taking one to wherever we're going, but I'm in charge of smoking a turkey. So I think part of it, after brining a turkey for like 3 or 4 days and then putting it on the smoker for a couple hours and just all the time that goes into it, I can really get down on some of that turkey when it's done.
I'm a deep fried turkey guy. I do the deep fried turkey. But my favorite dish, surprisingly, of all the desserts that I do, you would think it would be the chocolate cheesecake. Obviously, I'm a fat man. I like chocolate. But it would be my mom's homemade chocolate pie. She does a killer chocolate pie.
Mama's pie. I'm a turkey guy. Not gonna lie. I brought a turkey home today, and typically whoever's hosting, because I told you guys we rotate, typically whoever's hosting does the turkey, right? Because nobody wants to drag a fucking turkey to dinner with them wherever they're going. And so I bought a turkey today, and my wife opens the refrigerator when she gets home. She's like, what the fuck's there's a turkey in the refrigerator? She's like, we're going to your sister's house. And I was like, I buy a turkey every year and cook it regardless of where we're going, because I live for the leftover turkey chili, turkey and noodle soup. I mean, a turkey sandwich at midnight.
Some cranberries.
Yeah, exactly. Like I will eat turkey until that shit starts growing fuzz in the refrigerator. Turkey is my jam.
That's dedication right there, bro.
So, all right. So my dad. Man, all right. Last story. Then I'm gonna wrap us up. My dad, God rest his soul, one year. Usually, like for whatever reason, that particular year, they didn't, completely clean the turkey and like package it up and put it in the fridge. I think it was just such a chaotic Thanksgiving. My mom just like wrapped that bitch up in aluminum foil and kind of slid the whole platter into the fridge. And my dad was just kind of picking pieces off of it here or there in the fridge for like the next week. And my sister goes in there because he had picked the whole like one side completely clean finally. And my sister goes in there and rotates that son of a bitch around to get some off the backside. And it needed to have been thrown away. Let's just say. And my dad had just been sitting there pulling turkey off and eating it. And I was just like, every time I put like leftover turkey in the fridge, I think of that, man. And I'm just like, what the hell? But hey, it didn't kill him. He's all right. So, all right. Anyway, thank you guys. This has been a fun episode. I love these nostalgic episodes where we can talk about shit through the years and how we treated it as adults and dads and what it means to us. So thank you guys. We even threw a little Christmas in there, which is cool. Mm-hmm. But we appreciate you guys hanging out. Like I said on the previous episode, special episode 2 is out. If you missed that, that's kind of surrounding. We had a special educator on the show, and that's kind of answering some questions that we see a lot of dads asking about special education. So if you missed that one, check it out. And then December, it looks like we're hopefully lining up another special episode, which I will not spoil here. But keep your eyes peeled for that. As always, like and subscribe. Come hang out with us on the Facebook group. And we'll catch you on the next episode. See ya.
Good evening.